Good afternoon. We would like to welcome you to our APTT. And I will introduce who's with us tonight. We have Mrs. Petrie, the fourth grade teacher. Mrs. Stevenson, fourth and fifth. Mrs. Surway, who's our counselor. Is Mrs. Newman on?
I am.
Okay, Mrs. Newman's with us. And then I'm Mrs. Paulson, the fifth grade teacher. And we're gonna get started. We'll probably have people joining us, but we'll just keep going. So, welcome again. This is our first APTT meeting for 2020 and 21. And we're glad to have you all.
Give me one of them Kool-Aid packets.
What we would like to do first is show you a video clip of the start of our school year.
I remember. The worst part is when it feels
All right, we hope you enjoyed that. We're not positive if you could hear the sound. Somebody shook their head. We're sorry about the sound, but we hope you enjoyed seeing the kids anyways. Are you able to hear me? Can somebody give us?
I can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay, thank you for telling us that.
Yes, we hear you.
Thank you very much. We have a message from Mrs. Hughes, and she says, Riverside Rocket families, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your commitment and dedication to learning. And she has a message that she hopes finds you happy, healthy, and safe.
What are you doing? Raina, how come I can't hear her talking to me? Raina, how come I can't hear them?
I don't know.
Mrs. Paulson, you're probably working on it, but I don't think anyone can hear the sound. Sorry.
No.
We are working on it. Just 1 second.
Welcome, Riverside Rocket families, staff, and students. Thank you for joining us on our APTT night. Thank you for your commitment and partnership in the blended learning model. We thank you for your patience as we navigate through these uncharted waters of the COVID season. We truly believe that teamwork makes the dream work, and we couldn't pick a better team to be on. Thank you to all of our educational staff for their creative educational approaches to learning and the supports that they provide our students and families. We are in this together. It is going to be a great year. Together, we make the dream work. Thank you and have a great evening.
Mute myself. Why do I want that, Raina? No, it's making it so I can't hear. I'm not doing that.
Was that one better?
Yeah.
Sorry for that. Thank you for bearing with us. This is our first time doing this too, so we're trying the best we can. All right, the next slide is about social and emotional learning and what it is. Mrs. Surway is on here too, so we're hoping that she can support for us and why it would be important to our family. She has included a link that Mrs. Petrie is going to start, and we're hoping we can get the same positive results as we just did a second ago.
There's a lot of talk these days about SEL, social emotional learning. But what exactly is it? Social emotional learning is the process of learning social and emotional skills, and it's just as important as learning reading or math. This learning process is most effective when it begins early and continues through high school. Social emotional skills are essential for success in school, work, and life. With SEL, students learn to manage their own emotions and behaviors, have empathy and show care and concern for others, solve problems effectively, make responsible decisions, and maintain healthy relationships. Students learn to recognize what's happening inside them and to be aware of their emotions, which helps them deal with strong emotions and impulsive behaviors. It helps them stop, take a breath, and think about a situation before acting. Students learn to identify others' emotions and perspectives, which helps them empathize and show compassion, no matter who they are or what their background is. It's not difficult to imagine how this is important in the classroom and in life. Students learn to solve problems in peaceful ways and communicate assertively about what they need or want. This helps them get along with other students and get the help they need from adults. When students learn to make responsible decisions about their lives and their future, things can turn out better. Research shows social emotional learning makes a difference. Students who participate in SEL do better academically, have improved attitudes and behaviors, and act in delinquent or disruptive ways less often. In the United States, students with strong social emotional competence are twice as likely to earn a college degree and nearly 50% more likely to graduate from high school and have a full-time job by age 25. Just as important, students who are socially and emotionally competent have more friends. This means they're more likely to feel connected to school and do well, and less likely to be left out or bullied. Simply put, by participating in social emotional learning, students learn the skills to succeed in every facet of school and the rest of their lives.
Sorry, everybody.
All right, so with that, there were some tips that we wanted to talk to you about, and I think all of us would agree that the kids have come back and done an amazing job. We're very impressed with what they're doing. I know that there was some concerns with masks and things like that, but we have not found any problems with that. They're getting along well. They've adjusted very well. All three of us, I think, can agree that they have adjusted great and are doing a wonderful job. We're very happy with what they're doing. Some of the things that are on here that we wanted to just mention, Mrs. Surway, feel free to jump in if you'd like, but setting things up for success would be like making a space for them to do homework when they're not here at school. That would be their own space, not in bed, setting up a routine and reviewing the expectations for home
Part of setting
when
up,
they're home.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Part of setting up a routine is actually like getting out of bed, getting dressed, not just staying in bed or slouching around in pajamas, but just like they would regularly be going to school. It just helps them feel better and get their mind on school rather than being kind of lazy at home.
Yep, and reviewing the expectations. I know that we've talked about that with them. With the expectations, that was one that we talked about, like not being in bed, getting up, sitting in your space where you've set up for yourself, having the things that you need so you don't have to start and stop your videos, not having your phone with you or your video game controller, that it's more like school and having everything you need, staying focused, keep them close. Mrs. Surway, I'm not sure what that part was.
Mrs. Hughes made these, but I'm wondering if that is keep them in close proximity so you can kind of tell what they're working on, and if they need some redirection, you're close by to keep them focused is what I'm guessing.
Okay. Encourage self-regulation. So if they get off task, just encourage them to go back, continue what they're doing so that they can self-monitor themselves.
And maybe take a break if something is really overwhelming and they feel like they're very frustrated. You know, go get a drink of water, take a walk around the block, go ride a bike, take a break for just a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then go back to the work. Because even as adults, sometimes we get really frustrated and just need to take a little time out to get ourselves back in the game again, so to speak.
One thing that we do here too is we don't work nonstop. We do take breaks. I know that we do encourage them to take an outside break if they can go outside, have their mini recess, do that kind of thing. Mrs. Surway was just talking about sit outside. They could read outside if it's nice. those kinds of things. Encouraging ownership and effort, follow kids' interests and get input. Display their work if they've done a nice job. I'm really impressed on Seesaw how many parents have gone on and seen what they've done and also liked things that have come. And then give detailed praise. So not just good job, but good job. I've seen that you did such and such. I don't know if Mrs. Stevenson or Mrs. Petrie want to add anything. Okay. The next slide, Mrs. Petrie. Thank you. Managing motivation, start from strengths, making sure presentation is everything and use natural consequences, making room for well-being, be a good friend to yourself, get help when you need it and use movement or humor, and then making room for well-being. So be a good friend to yourself, get help when you need it and use movement and, oh.
That must be
That's
really
on there
important.
twice.
That must be important because it's on there twice.
I just realized that when I was reading it. Yeah, that must be really important. Sorry about that. I don't see anything we have to add, Mrs. Survey, do you?
I don't. I think that's pretty all encompassing. You know,
Yes.
just be positive, show them what they're good at first, and then delve into some of the things that might be harder. You know, be gentle, give them some grace. This is hard for everybody. It's hard for parents, students, and teachers. You know, if they need a break, let them get a break, do some movements, you know, try to see the light side of things and not be really overwhelmed and really stressed because then no learning will take place.
That's a great tip. Okay, I don't know if your kids talked about it or if you've seen it. I know that it's come home in some of our slides, but Mrs. Meyer has been doing brain camp with the kids over 5 sessions. And she has put together a little slide so you can see that the things that she's been teaching the kids. The kids love brain camp and they're sad that it's over. We have finished the last of our 5 weeks at brain camp. So she has put together a little slide to show you what she has taught the kids over the 5 weeks. So sit back and enjoy. She does a very nice job at this.
My brain is always ticking, my brain.
Hi there, Riverside families. My name is Heather Meyer, and I am the reading specialist for the 3rd through 5th grade at Riverside School. And I just love reading and writing and words. But you know another thing I love? The brain, and teaching it to kids and how they can use their brain to really make a difference in their learning. So this year we had an opportunity to come in and socially distance with the 3rd grade and do it remotely with the 4th and 5th grade and learn about the brain once again at Riverside School. And I just wanted to share with you some of the highlights. All right, not gonna lie, this is my second take on this. The first one was way too long. Seriously, I could talk about this stuff all night long, but I'm going to try to keep it brief for you. Okay, your child learned a bunch of different lobes and parts of the brain: frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe, hippocampus, amygdala. Bet you anything they could tell you the names and about some of them. So test them. Your brain always wants to be comfortable. It wants to be lazy and efficient and have pleasure. And when we're learning, we really have to fight that part of their brain. We're trying at school to get them into this learning zone, get them out of their comfort zone. But in doing that, sometimes they go into this panic zone. We call that where their guard dog comes out. It's where they feel uncomfortable. But the truth about learning is you have to feel uncomfortable in order to do the learning and get that learner's joy, that great feeling when you have that aha moment in your brain, that learner's joy. It's going to take a child getting into that panic zone and letting what we call at school your guard dog come out. So talk to your child about their guard dog and their wise owl and have them explain to you what that is. And if you're interested, I will have a chat with you myself about it because I find it fascinating. We talked about the different ways that our guard dog comes out. We talked about how everybody has a guard dog, adults, kids, Everybody has a guard dog within them when something isn't going right. And we talked about how to settle your guard dog, visualize things, talk to yourself, that positive self-talk, work on some breathing that Ms. Surway has taught them in guidance. Talking about your amygdala and your self-talk. When you tell your brain negative things, your brain believes it. It's a genie in your brain that goes like this. What? You say you can never do it? Your wish is my command. So that self-talk is super duper important, that it serves you well, and that it is positive. Practice makes progress. Huge at Riverside School. We're always practicing, and we can guarantee if we are practicing hard and in the right way, we are going to make progress. Here's some tips for applying ideas from Brain Camp. Focus on the effort and hard work of your child. Say things like, you really worked hard on that, or I'm impressed how you didn't give up, or our family really values hard work. When you focus on things like saying you're so smart, it makes your child think, I'm not always so smart, and now I'm kind of living a lie, and I have to cover up myself so that my parents aren't disappointed, my family's not disappointed when I'm not smart. But hard work they can control. So if you always focus on hard work, they can always work harder. So use the hard work kind of talk. Talk about your guard dog and how it applies to you and when you feel frustrated. Model your self-talk, watching for that inner genie, and let your child know, I just wasn't talking to myself very nicely right now. I have to remember that I need to talk nicer to my brain. And always use practice makes progress with them. When they're reading, being like, I'm proud that you're working hard because I know that practice makes progress. When they're working on their APTT goal, I notice you're working hard on that goal, and I know that practice makes progress. There are some tips. We're working on greatness. Hopefully your child will come home and start sharing some stuff about their greatness at school. And that is Brain Camp. There you have it, Brain Camp 2020. Hey, you know what would make my day is if you find your child talking about their brain at home and you shoot me a text or you send me an email or send a note for their child or come and see me and let me know. That would just make my day, that if I could have a collection of stories of how kids applied everything they learned about their brain and used it in their learning and their life. Thank you.
My brain is always ticking, my brain.
All right, I can tell you the kids absolutely love Brain Camp. You can maybe see why Mrs. Meyer is very enthusiastic about it. And it was just something they always looked forward to. That is also, if you've been hearing about the Rubik's Cube, that is where that comes from. And she has started her Rubik's Cube Club. If you're interested in that, there's a Tuesday and a Thursday group for that. The next slide that has come up is a quote from Dale Carnegie, and it's a quote that says, remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. And the reason we put that up there is because we can't really do icebreakers like we've done in the past, where you learn about everybody in the room and about your children, but this is a way that we can get to know you and about your children. And we're going to have you learn a little bit about Zoom also. So if you look at your screen at the bottom, there are some icons like mute, stop video, participants. Hopefully that's what you're seeing on your screen. There should be one that says chat. And down in the chat, we're hoping that you can click that. And when it comes up, it will say, there'll be a little bar and it will say to everyone. And we're wondering if you can tell us where your child's name came from. How did you come up with naming your child the way that you named them?
Is it possible that the chat feature is disabled? So on mine, it looks like I'm only able to message Mrs. Petrie.
I have the same thing.
Okay.
Mrs. Petrie, do you think it's because, remember we disabled that when we did groups Last year we changed it somehow. Okay, I'm going to check the settings. I think there might be an issue with not being able to see the chat. I do see a couple people have put it in there already. So let me just check the settings. Look for that chat down on the bottom. Otherwise, even if you could just read some of them.
I can. So one of them shares says, Carson was given his name by his, wait. Well, I think everybody's chatting me privately. That's why.
That's our only option, Mrs. Peach.
Ew.
Yeah.
I can change that, or should I just read them out? I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know it was set up like that. And I can't figure it out. So I don't want to waste too much time. I'll just read them out.
Raina.
Okay. So we have one name shared, given by his birth mother. We have Dante's name came from an Italian poet, Dante Alighieri, who wrote the famous work The Inferno. Maggie was named after her great-grandmother. My mom's name is Kathleen, and my sister is Jill Catherine. So Catherine's name came from that, and I gave her a C spelling so she could be unique. Jameson got his name because we needed a J name. I love that. It was a list of boy names I had in my mind. We made a list too when we were naming ours. Spencer's name came from one of the main characters in Criminal Minds. Oh, I know Spencer. Evan went 4 days without a name. We finally just had to come up with something so we could leave the hospital. Oh, you guys are making me so happy. I love this. Julia was named after my great aunt. She was amazing, outgoing woman who I miss very much. Julia helps me remember her every day. Landon's name came from the movie A Walk to Remember. Oh, that's a good one too. John is Jonathan Michael, named for both of his grandfathers. Mom's Rainey. And I wanted to have something different, and instead of Keegan, we did Kagan. It's something fun too. And Destiny's dad named her, and she was his Destiny. Aww. Well, they're so good, you guys. Thank you for sharing all of that. We appreciate your openness and honesty in sharing those with us. If any other ones come up, we can read them later. Okay. So we are going to move forward. We just wanted to get you a little bit of movement, even if it was only in your fingertips. We have a little bit of a continuation with this idea of engagement and how can we keep our kids engaged at home, because we know it's a struggle. Trust me, we know it's different. I have small children at home, and I'm a teacher teaching them at home, and it's nothing like when I'm at school teaching kids at school or when they're at school. So please trust us when we know it's a challenge, and we just want to give you all the resources possible to make that as successful for you as possible. So we have October engagement tips. This will be coming home in paper format for you with your child soon. Like there's some QR codes on here. So you'll have a paper copy that you can scan that QR code in a couple days. So there are some family resources out there. There's a website here. They have brain breaks that you can do with your child, some seesaw activities if you just want to add a little bit of fun or something into their day from the Fond du Lac School District. One of their notes here was, we kind of mentioned this before, preparing your workspace. Just like you pack your backpack the night before, make sure you have everything settled before you sit down and get to work. It's easy to get distracted when you have to get up and go get a pencil, and on the way you see the snack cupboard and you think, I probably need a snack before I get my pencil and sit back down. At least that's how it works at my house. So having everything you need ahead of time really helps. There are some videos that can help with that, give you some ideas about what to do. Just scan that QR code when you get the paper. Timers are huge. Here at school, we use timers all the time. When we need the kids to transition and go from one place to another, we use a countdown. Or when we want to build up their stamina for reading, we set a timer and we kind of sell it like a carnival is my catchphrase, you know, oh my gosh, I don't know, guys, do you think you can make it 10 minutes reading? I don't know. And we set a timer and they beat it and they have this great, wonderful feeling of, you know,
they've been successful and they've met that goal. So using timers at home can be really helpful too. Also, it creates an no argument zone, right? If the timer is set, you're not done until the timer goes off. When the timer goes off, then you're done. So that sometimes can help a little bit with that fight to stay focused and do what you need to do. Turn off the screen is a big one. We don't have any TVs or videos on unless it's purposeful for the lesson here at school. Even as an adult, it's really hard to multitask and have the TV on and try to do something, that takes a lot of brain power. And what we're asking the kids to do when we send home that work should be taking a lot of brain power. So having the screen off is just really helpful for them to be able to do that well. Dice, cards, board games. We live in the real world, right? Sometimes schooling just is not going the way you planned it to go, or it's just an off day and you need to take a break with your kid. A nice way to do that still kind of keeps their brain working is to play a dice game or a card game or a board game. You're interacting with your child, building relationship, and you're talking about strategy and cooperation and social development and critical thinking. And those are all skills that kids need too. So don't be afraid to use that parenting hat and say, you know what, right now we need to step away from what the teacher has sent home. My child needs this right now. Take the time to do that. We want you to do that. It's good for you and it's good for your child. So please feel free to do that. Did I miss anything, Mrs. Stevenson or Mrs. Paulson? Mrs. Newman? No. Okay. We also kind of wanted to talk with you about how important you are, and we're so thankful that you came to APTT to this meeting tonight, because when we work together, we make the best growth for our kids, and we love that you are on our team with us. So one of the things that we ask for that's really helpful is if you send your kids to school with a few messages, with this idea that they belong at our school, because they do, and we want them here. Send them to school with the idea that they can succeed at school. If they work hard and put their mind to it with their teachers' help, they can succeed. It feels good when they know that they have the confidence of their parents behind them when they come into the school building. Let them know that they can get better when they try, when they put that effort in and that hard work like Mrs. Meyer was talking about. And let them know that schoolwork has value in their life by showing them how it has value in your life. And just being here at APTT sends that message to your child. So you've already taken the first step in that, and we appreciate that very, very much. So thank you. A little bit more about words. Raising a scholar is kind of what we're going for here, as you all would agree, because you're here at this meeting with us. So one of the ways you can make sure your child gets that message is by talking about the importance of education to your family, that it's important that they go to school, that you are glad that they go to school. Discuss the importance of that hard work. Share times that were hard for you in life. Talk to your kids about it's not always going to be easy, and there was a time when it was tough for me, and how did you persevere and get through that hard time? They can take that message and apply it to their day and to their life. Speaking highly of Riverside and the partnership that we have together means a lot to your child, knowing that we're on the same team and that we respect each other and we're working together to help them grow and help them dream big. All right, we're going to dive into our goal for this year. Anything to add, my other teachers, before I dive into this part? All righty. So we are working on math fact fluency in 4th and 5th grade. 4th grade students are working to master all of their multiplication facts. 5th grade students are working to master division facts. Mastery is determined by completing 48 problems in 5 minutes for 5th grade and 48 problems in 6 minutes for 4th grade. So we kind of bumped that up a little bit. Any of our scholars who master division are going to move on to another skill that'll be determined by the 5th grade team. So we'll let you know when your child is ready for that step. All right. Yep. Oh, backing up. Hold on.
For 5th grade, the next skill will be 2-digit or 3-digit multiplication, and there will be some kids starting that. And that we also, I think we all are doing this, if they are not ready for the fact that's on, or the skill that's on there, they may be bumped down a little until they're ready for that skill. So for example, in 5th grade, if they're not ready for division, they'll still be in multiplication. And we may have some scholars that aren't even ready for multiplication, so they may still be doing addition and subtraction. So we will meet them where they're at, just so you know that. And then we'll move them forward as they progress.
Thank you, Mrs. Paulson. Okay, so we are going to look at some data, and we want families to understand the expectation that we've set for their child and where their child is kind of related to the rest of the class, because sometimes that helps us make an idea. So in the folder that was sent home to you, if you have it, there is a data sheet in there. It might look different depending on which class they're in, whether they're with me or Mrs. Paulson or Mrs. Stevenson. Mine looks kind of like a roster. It's just got numbers, student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down. And next to that is their score, and your child's score is highlighted. So you can see what your child scored and what the rest of the class scored, but no names associated with it.
That's the same in my classroom. There could be 3 sheets stapled together. It would say addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, but they're all stapled together just to show you what your child is working on.
So when you find that number, their score, remember the goal is 48 facts. So you can look at their number out of a total of 48 and just be thinking about how close is your child to reaching this goal. All right, maybe just give me a thumbs up when you found that and you found your score. I don't want to rush anyone before we move on. See a couple thumbs ups. Thank you. It's fantastic. If you don't have your sheet or your folder hasn't made it home to you yet, they do tend to get lost in the bottoms of backpacks. No worries. They will show up shortly, or you can send your classroom teacher a message and we'd be happy to get another one out. That is not a problem. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move forward. I am doing my best to watch the chat since I'm the only one who can see it, apparently. So if you can't find yours, please just put a question in the chat and I'll do my best to watch for that. Okay, moving forward. We have a practice activity. So when your child brought home their folder, they also brought home a Ziploc bag with a game in it. We're going to play virtually on the computer. But you have paper game boards and paper cards, but it's the same game. You just get to do it in person, and we get to do it on the computer. So we want you to be comfortable with that game so that you're ready to play with your child, so that you can practice their facts and help them grow their skills. So this is a multiplication bingo game. It's called What's Missing Bingo, and it looks like this. Everybody can see that okay? Wonderful. So Mrs. Newman has graciously volunteered, meaning I told her she had to play this game with me.
I do love
to show you how it goes. So the goal of this game is to get 4 in a row, and there are cards. Let me just scooch my screen over a little bit. There are cards here. You're going to get to pick a card, and you're looking for a missing factor. So I am in charge of the game, so I get to go first. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. We actually have to pick a game board to play with first. Mrs. Newman, which game board would you like?
All right, I would like number 1, please.
You would like number 1 on it. I'm just going to go like this so we know it's yours, okay? All right, I will pick game board number 3. Okay. So I picked the first card, and I'm looking for this missing factor here. So I'm asking myself, what times 4 equals 32? And the beauty of this game is that you get to work together with your child. It's not a competitive game. It's a cooperative game. So you could have them practicing different ways to figure this out. You could have them doing count bys. Count by 4 until you get to 32. How many is it? Or you could have them figure out a fact that is close to that. So for this one, I know that 8 times 4 is 32. So I get to move one of my counters over to 8. All right, Mrs. Newman, I'll pick your card for you. Ready? Here
All
you go.
right. It's so weird I don't get to do it myself.
I know.
Okay, so I have 16 divided by something gives me 8. And I know that if I double 8, it's 16. So the answer is 2. Can you put mine up in the corner?
This one? No.
All right.
I'm going to follow your directions until it means I'm not winning, and then it's going to go wherever I want to put it. Just kidding. Okay.
I know how you work.
All right. So my card says something divided by 4 equals 2. So I might think to myself, a multiplication sentence that could work for this. So I might think to myself, well, what's 2 times 4? Right? And that would give me 8. So we try to teach kids about how multiplication and division work together. Okay, so I need an 8. Wait, I already had 8. Oh, well. Here we go. All right, Mrs. Newman, here you go.
Okay, what times 3 equals 24? That would be 8.
A lot of 8s going around today. All right, which one do you want?
I'll do the bottom 8.
Okay. All right. 18 divided by something equals 6. So I could have pennies at home and I could divide those into groups as a strategy. I could do count bys, or I could do a reverse multiplication. I could ask myself 6 times what makes 18, and that would be 3. So remember, I'm trying to make 4 in a row, so I'm being strategic. Here you go, Mrs. Newman.
12 divided by something equals 3. So if I counted by 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12, that would be 4 of them. I'm going to do the 1 in the underneath the 2 that I already have.
Okay. All right. Something divided by 3 equals 2. That would be 6. 6 into 3 groups would be 2 in each group. And we would probably like to say that it's totally normal to feel your guard dog come up when you're playing with your kid and you're like, oh shoot, do I remember how to do that? It's totally normal. And it's good for them to see that too, that it takes a little bit when you're kind of rusty with those facts and trying to figure those out. That's persevering through something that's hard. So please don't be afraid to show your kids that. Here you go, Mrs. Newman.
All right, what divided by 5 equals 2? I know that 2 groups of 5 is 10, so I'll put it on 10.
I think there's only one unless you see another one.
No, that's all I see.
Okay. 7 times something equals 14. Well, I know that double 7 is 14, so that would be a times 2. We use a lot of that double language in 4th grade, in case you hear your kids saying that, or you would like to say that. Okay.
8 times what equals 80? I know that's 10, but I don't have a 10, so.
Neener. 27 divided by something equals 3. I could count by 3s up until 27, or I could say 3 times what equals 27, which would be 9.
What divided by 2 equals 3? So I think I had one like this before. 3 groups of 2 is 6. So I'm going to put mine on that bottom 6.
Oh, we're getting close, Mrs.
I'm going for a double win.
Ooh. It's really competitive when we're in class together playing games. Ask your kids about it. It's pretty funny. 9 times something is 18. Ooh, I know that's a double fact, which makes it a times 2. Do I have a 2? I don't have a 2. Dang it. Dang it. It's because I said neener last time.
I know. 14 divided by something equals 2. So that would be 7 because that's a double fact. So I'm going to put it on the bottom 7, I think.
Okay. You're not too close to winning. I'm still following your directions. All right, something times 7 is 49. This is one of those facts that kids usually just end up having to memorize. There's not an easy one for that. So 7 times 7 is 49. Oh, I have 7. Yay. Ooh. I'm going here. Okay.
All right. What times 6 equals 24? So the kids have learned double double. So if we double the 6, that's 12. And if we double the 12, that's 24. So that would be a times 4 fact. So you can put it on the times 4 or on the 4.
All right, 8 divided by something equals 2, or I could think how many groups of 2 do I need to equal 8? And that would be 4. That's a doubles fact, right? 4 times 2. Do I have a 4? Do I have a 4? I do. Okay, we're getting close, Mrs. Newman.
Ooh, yay. 3 times what equals 18? If I counted by 3s, that would be 6, and I won.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, so that's how the game is played, everyone. There are variations that you could do. You could play where whoever's stacked it is, you still put it on each other's board. You can play that way. It goes a little faster. We sent you out with multiple copies of the game boards so that you can play more than once. Even just on this, you could play again with the opposite game board number 2 and number 4. You could play blackout, you could play postage stamp, any of those rules that go with bingo, just to keep it fun and interesting for your kids. So you have paper copies of those coming home. Oh, we could send it electronically. Mrs. Paulson was just asking if you guys have it on the computer to play at home. We've shared our other, at least I know in our classroom, we've shared the workplaces on Seesaw. We could add this one to it, the other classrooms as well. So you could play it electronically with them too if you wanted to beef up your tech skills. Okay, Mrs. Paulson, you're up, right? I mean, Mrs. Stevenson. I meant Mrs. Stevenson. All right, let me mute myself.
Whoops. All right, it is now my turn. So we thought it might be fun for you to go down memory lane, and you're going to use the chat button again on the bottom of your screen so we can get to know each other a little bit more. What is your favorite memory from elementary school? So again, you'll type your answer in that chat. And then Mrs. Petrie, you'll have to read those for us.
Okay, I'm back in case you missed me. As people are typing those in, I will just share, there was a question in the chat. Is there a multiplication division table or chart available for them? They do have one here at school in my class. We can certainly provide those. Just send a message to your child's teacher and we can get one sent home for you. Not a problem.
Is there one in their planner too, Mrs. Petrie?
5th grade has one in their Seesaw. We don't have planners this year, Mrs. Newman, in 4-5. So no. Paulson's 5th grade has that in their Seesaw. We have some memories coming in. We have playing Heads Up, 7-Up. Oh my gosh, I remember that too. In 2nd grade, we had caterpillars in our classroom and we watched them transform into butterflies. Love that. This is Jim and I'm 65 and can't remember that far back. My favorite memory from elementary school was playing a part in a school-wide play that we performed called Dead Dog Gulch. Ooh, sounds exciting. Recess or gym class when we were on the scooters with that parachute and we could go under it until we ran our fingers over. I'm assuming that's a scooter, not the parachute. Learning English, wonderful. Playing Foursquare, hatching chickens and doing it with my own students when I taught. That's from Mrs. Paulson. My favorite memory was when I got the lead solo in our Christmas play. Oh yeah. Dodgeball was always awesome. Not for me. I used to hide from the ball. Going to the library to get the next Boxcar Children books. Oh yes. Oh, and Miss Thede was your librarian. Oh, I love that. We have Miss Thede. Releasing monarchs for science. Meeting a Bronco. Ooh, like football player Bronco? I'm going to go with yes. Vividly remember sharing German words with the gym teacher, Mr. Bars, who also had some German heritage. That's fun. Oh, confirmation, yes, the Bronco was football player Bronco. Very fun. Thank you for sharing. We just got another one, launching rockets for science. Playing hopscotch or double dutch. Very fun. All right, we'll read some more at the end if they come in a little bit later. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you for sharing. Okay. All right, so in your folder that the kids brought home, you are going to see a goal setting sheet. So I would like you to check your folder and take that goal setting sheet out. Can you go to the next slide?
Darn it, I should.
So we are going to set a SMART goal, and a SMART goal is going to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So setting your January SMART goal, this is going to be a goal that we will hopefully meet when we come back in January. So I want you to look at your child's current progress. So that is the sheet that Mrs. Petrie was talking about, where your child's number is highlighted. That's how they did in September or October, I believe. Did you have October? Some had October. So kind of reflect on your family's nightly routine, like how much time can you spend on working on this goal? Set an attainable goal for your child to reach by January of 2021, and you can complete the goal forms in the folder. So if you take a look, you are going to see that there's a home copy, a family copy, and then there's also a school copy. So we would really appreciate if you fill the top half and the bottom half out, and then you can send the school part back with your child so that we can see what you set for your child as their goal, and then we can help work on that at school also. So you'll put your child's name, you can put today's date. The skill is math, fact, fluency. That's already on the sheet for you. Then you'll see that it says, today my child completes blank problems in 6 minutes. Now, I know some of your children are completing them in 5 minutes, but we'll just leave it for the 6 minutes. Take a look and fill in your child's number. Again, for 4th grade, it will probably be multiplication that you're looking at. For 5th grade, it would be division. You might have a different form, and that's okay. We talked about that. Some 5th graders might still be on multiplication. So you're picking the goal. If they didn't reach the goal of multiplication and they're in 5th grade, you want them working on multiplication yet. And then you will fill in to help my child reach the goal. Who's going to help them practice? So you can just say mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, older brother or sister, somebody that can help them at home. The number of days per week. Again, make sure that it is something that you think you can do. If it's like 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and how long each day. And with the math, fact, fluency, I always tell my kids, you know, if you're practicing maybe like 10 minutes a day, that's probably a good amount of time. I don't want them to get bored with it either or frustrated. If you have any questions on that, you can always put your question in the chat and then we can answer that question for you. So as you're filling that out, or if you want to do that, you know, on your own time, that's fine. But we do want to go over how to give your child an educational advantage. So not only working on our APTT goal, but encourage as much reading as possible. Even if your child loves video games, usually there's a direction booklet or something, and you could ask them to read the directions with you. Reading is reading, so it doesn't always have to be that book that they brought home from the library. Then the next one is encourage as much writing as possible. Again, it doesn't always have to be a story that they're writing. You could say, write me a note or write grandma a note. With all of our technology, letter writing has kind of stopped, and it's always kind of fun to get a letter from somebody, a handwritten letter. Talk, and then talk some more. Always ask them what they're doing at school. I know a lot of them will say nothing. What did you do today? Nothing. But kind of push the issue. They are doing things here. Trust us, they are. Push and encourage a great vocabulary. All three of us work on vocabulary here at school with the kids. Ask them, what are some of your vocabulary words you're working on this week, and see if they can tell you some of the vocabulary words and even define those words or use them in a sentence for you. Find opportunities for math. In the kitchen is a great opportunity for math. Using money is a great opportunity for math. Talking about the coins, how much they're worth. If you have a clock at home and it's not a digital clock, we have realized that the kids could really use work on telling time. They're so used to a digital clock that when they have to look at a regular clock, they have a hard time. So you could really help them with that too. Discuss your family's values. We know that education is important to all of you. That's why you're here tonight. And celebrate learning of any kind that you see your child doing. Okay, so our upcoming APTT meeting dates, so that you can get those on your calendar, will be January 12th, 2021 and April 13th, 2021. And then before the big group APTT meetings, we will have a 30-minute individual meeting with you. So you have a form in your folder. It says, please fill in a day of the week and a time that works for you. So you'll put your name, your phone number, your child's name, the day of the week that works for you. Available times could be mornings from 7 to 7:30, evenings from 3:30 to 7. I know all three of us are pretty flexible. So give us a time and we can see if it will work out in our schedule. So please, please, please make sure that you fill that out and have your child return that to school with them. All right, now's the fun. Raffle time. So we have 4 games, right?
Yep, 4. Yep.
4 games, and Mrs. Surway has all of your names, and she is going to call out the lucky winners for a game.
Yep, I have them all in here, and some of them, if you don't have your first name, you're going to be a number. I took your screen names, so I'm sorry about that, but that's just the way it's going to be. So and we'll send these games home with your child when the next time that they're in school. So the first game is going to be for phase 10, and that will go to, suspense is killing you, Emiliano. That game goes to Emiliano. All right, so I'll put a sticky note on there and give that to his teacher. All right, Boggle is the next game. Carmen, this goes to Carmen. I just want to stick it on there so I don't lose it. Jenga, this is a family favorite of mine. They love it. And that one goes to Julie and Jim, Tree 11. My sister calls that game a fight in a box, just saying. And the last game that is for this group is a game of Skipple. And that goes to Stephanie. Okay.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Surway.
Do we need them to put in chat who their child is so we know who to send that home with?
That would probably be helpful.
Yeah, so Mrs. Petrie could get that information. So Stephanie, put in who your child is, Julie and Jim, we know Carson, we're good. Emiliano and Carmen. I think I can guess Emiliano's. Okay.
Hi, this is Carmen and Harold Stroud. The chat, for whatever reason for us, does not have a send icon on it. But in any case, we are supporting Sulema. And,
Perfect.
All
right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh. No.
Okay. All right. So thank you again for coming to our first virtual APTT meeting. Actually, I think it went very well. Hopefully you feel the same way. Teamwork does make the dream work at Riverside School. We could not do it without our parents. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, there's just a couple like housekeeping things that we'd like to share with you. This next one is about the 3-day meal packs that you may have heard about or seen that you could sign up for on email. This is a special kind of announcement from Mrs. Hughes. The 3 meal packs that the school district is offering to families at no cost no longer have to be signed up for by email. If you would like to be offered those 3 meal packs, you just need to let the teachers know, or you could put it in the chat and you'll be permanently on that list. So you no longer have to go online and do the sign up. I think you had to have it in by a certain day each week, and then you were on that list to get them, but you can permanently be on the list and no longer have to do the email. So if you want to either send us a note, an email, or go onto the chat and do that, you can do that, and then you'll be on the list. And the delivery dates for cohort A is on Tuesdays, cohort B is on Fridays. And that will go through the end of the year, or until the food runs out, I should say, or the funding runs out. And then the next one, Mrs. Petrie, is about Blooms and Seesaw. We just encourage you to sign up for Blooms, which we used last year, and we found out that we are going to be able to continue to do that this year. I think each of us will be sending home, if we haven't already, a way to sign up to Blooms. And all of us, I know, have invited all of you and the rest of the class, if they aren't on here, to Seesaw. If you are not on and would like help doing that, please send all of us an email or a note, and we will connect with you somehow to get you logged on to each of those platforms. It's a good way for us to communicate with you and for you to communicate with us. And if you have questions, you can put it in the chat. I hear Mrs. Petrie typing over there. So feel free to put it in the chat or get a hold of us through email or send us a note. We're happy to get you onto those platforms. And then lastly, it's a thank you for coming and taking the time to meet with us tonight. Like Mrs. Stevenson had said, on this slide is our contact information for email, as well as phone numbers, and a reminder that we would love to see you again on January 12th. And then this is not on the slide, but if you could please remember to send us the teacher copy of the goal, as well as when you could meet with us for an individual conference. We would love to get together with you and talk about the goals that you set for your children. And that's all we have. If you have more chats or anything, you can put them in there.
Do you want us to send them?
And then if you, actually, I didn't hear Mrs. Petrie. I'm going to let her say that.
And then Julie has a question.
We'll keep the chat open. We'll keep the link open for about 1 more minute, and then we do have to close it down so that we can open it up for our second helping meeting. So if you aren't able to get your question into the chat before we shut down the meeting, please feel free to just send those emails and we will help you take care of whatever we need to. But we'll leave it open for about 1 more minute.
Okay, and Julie has a question right now.
I was just wondering if the teachers wanted the manila folders back too with the other information.
Ms. Petrie looks lost.
Do we want the manila folders back? Sure.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Say bye. Bye. Goodbye. It's Julia. Say bye. Bye. Goodbye.